After last weekend's fall against Salford, the Stags needed to spring back to life as they made the trip to AFC Wimbledon. So when the hosts opened the scoring in the first half, again exposing the weaknesses at the back, you'd have been forgiven for thinking, here we go again. Thank goodness then for the players who had other ideas, mounting a comeback of such shocking qualities that even Danny Johnson scored. Excuse me a minute, I've just got to tie my shoelaces. You know, isn't it wonderful what happens when you play the ball through the middle? Anyway, tonight in this very special Mansfield Matters podcast, our panel will look back on an afternoon of joy at AFC Wimbledon and discuss our hopes for the playoffs as we prepare to take on runaway league leaders Leyton Orient in the dedicated Her Game 2 fixture on Saturday. Speaking of which, that's what this week's show is all about, Her Game 2. Alan, Clive, Nathan, Nick and I are all taking a break and handing it over to our honorary Her Game 2 representative Cam, who welcomes an all-female panel to discuss all things Mansfield Town and, of course, Her Game 2. And as it's such an occasion, we've put the non-existent company credit card behind the bar here at the Capo Lounge in Mansfield, who've kindly given us space to come together this evening. That'll be my credit card then, so tap water if you don't mind. Cheers. As we enter a different location tonight, there may well be one or two technical glitches, but we'll do our best. In fact, if you're watching this live, we've already overcome some of them. So feel free to get involved in the comments and have your say on your team. Right, that's enough from me. I'll see you at the end as I hand over to Cam. Don't worry though, I am behind the camera and behind the laptop doing all the techie stuff, so if he does start making an idiot of himself or start talking nonsense, I'll be jumping in and taking over. So, shall we have a sweepstake on how long that is? I'm going to give it 30 seconds. Right, this is the show for the fans, by the fans. Welcome to the Mansfield Matters podcast, live from Capo Lounge in Mansfield.
Well, good evening and welcome to the Mansfield Matters podcast, a very special Her Game 2 special. And we're live here in the Capo Lounge in Mansfield. A massive thank you to them. You might have seen previously we've done things here, so a massive thank you to them to be able to bring this to you. It is International Women's Day today, and with Mansfield Town's dedicated Her Game 2 fixture coming up this weekend against league leaders Leyton Orient, we thought we'd do something a little bit different. So, joining me on my right, but your guys' left, we've got Kira, Emma, Keely, and Mansfield Town Ladies Club Captain, Monica. Ladies, how are you all doing today? Thank you for joining us. It's fantastic. Just a quick one. So, Kira, you're a advocate of Her Game 2.
Yeah, that's right.
Emma, you are our ambassador.
I am indeed.
Keely, you're a advocate as well, and then Monica, you play for the ladies side, so it'd be rude not to invite one of the ladies players. So how's everybody doing? Thank you for joining us. I just want to get down to sort of like what Her Game 2 is about before we sort of like venture off to talk about Mansfield Town, because we'll do the general talk about last weekend against AFC Wimbledon, a bit about Her Game 2, about you guys, and then bring it all the way around and previewing about this weekend's game and what's actually happening at the game around the ground. So, Emma, I just want to start with you. What is your role? Who is Her Game 2? What is it all about?
So, Her Game 2 was an organisation that was set up by 12 female football fans in May 2021. So, height of lockdown, really, and with the aim of highlighting sexism in football, working with clubs to eradicate it, and also really just empowering and championing women in football and in other sports. My role is really linked into working with the club directly on any initiatives that we have, making sure that we're inclusive, we've got a good reporting system for any abuse at the games, and that goes to the right people. And just really kind of getting the message out there that, you know, we are a welcoming family club, we're inclusive, we want to make sure that we're really getting behind all of the women in the club, in whatever format really. So whether that be as a fan, as a player, you know, as a member of staff in the club, just making sure we're doing as much as we can really.
Obviously, it's all fantastic work, but how did it first sort of like come about? Obviously, we talk about the 12 initial female football fans that set it up. How did you get involved in becoming the Mansfield Town ambassador?
Yeah, so the club had already partnered with Her Game Too, and they put out an advert on socials asking for an ambassador, listed all of kind of the responsibilities, and just had to send an email across really explaining why I wanted to do the role and what I was interested in. That went off to Her Game Too. I had an interview with a couple of people from the lead team and other ambassadors from other clubs, and they contacted me to let me know that obviously I'd been successful. Linked me up with the contact at the club, and it all got going from there.
That sounds awfully formal.
It is.
Having an interview and everything.
Yeah, they take it quite seriously. You know, they want people that, you know, are representing what they're about and are passionate about what they believe in. And they want to make sure that they've got who they believe to be the right sort of person for the role, which kindly was me.
It is. And Kira and Keely, sorry, trying to think about a million questions. Trying to think about questions on the spot, but how did you two?
Have to bring back Craig already?
No.
At that stage where we bring back Craig.
Turn your mic back down. Craig's behind the camera. He's running everything. He's doing my job usually.
Arguably better, some might say.
Moving on. How did you two get involved then? Because obviously, like, you might not necessarily know sort of like before Emma started doing this. I didn't particularly know of sort of like anybody sort of like that felt this sort of like you feel this way, because you look on social media, you don't really see a female representation, but then you have this like outlet of Her Game Too and Mansfield Town ladies and whatever, and all of a sudden you've actually realised you've got quite a lot of people that feel quite strongly about sort of like trying to improve Mansfield Town, and then just sort of like from an ambassador role, but then also being advocates as well, and helping Emma really drive the work forward.
I think, obviously, I've known Emma for years, sat behind you for years, and it was just one of those things that, obviously, you say that you never knew that people felt about it, but I think it's something you always feel, something you always want to push forward and in a positive way. And I think I just came about it because I thought, you know what, I've always felt this. I know Emma, I feel confident around her, so I think it would be really good to sort of help Emma bring a positive image to Mansfield Town for women. And yeah, and who else better to do it with? I think it's something that has obviously always been prevalent to obviously push forward. Sorry, there's a little bit of fire in front of my face. To obviously push forward in football, and it's something that we're really proud of and something that we're really looking forward to keep pushing forward.
So I actually applied to be ambassador at the same time as Emma, and obviously the best woman got the job. So going from that, obviously I had exactly the same as Emma, the interviews and the emails and whatever, and got put asking if I'd be an advocate, and obviously I'd be delighted to help Emma. So that's where it went from there with Emma, and it's worked out really good because we literally live in the same village as well, so we can meet up and get together and put ideas together, and it is all about obviously representing Mansfield Town with Her Game Too, but also other clubs and other sports, and yeah, it's a good thing to get into.
But for me, I'm just so pleased to have them on board and with me, and it's such a team effort, and it's something that we all work on together, and we're really passionate about. We're always welcome for, you know, if anybody else ever wanted to join the team, men, women, whoever, you know, absolutely come and join us, and help us out and give us any information that, you know, you want to. And these girls are amazing, you know. I'm so grateful. So
can I just add something as well? I think it's all about like equal opportunities. So like Emma said, men or women can obviously join our team and help to push those positive, strategies forward for the club.
And Monica, obviously you are the club captain for Mansfield Town ladies. What does sort of like seeing all this Her Game Too stuff bring to the ladies side? Because obviously it's a difficult situation, because notoriously sort of like women's football, it's not as well attended. There's not much of a focus on it. Obviously the last few years are starting to change, and there's a massive swing, and women's football is getting more coverage. But what's it like as a player being there from, how long have you been at Mansfield Town ladies now? 8 years?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just, yeah.
You've been there practically since the start of like when the ladies team was restarted, and what sort of like the changes sort of like at the club sort of like you seeing as a player rather than as a fan?
So as a player, obviously, I've again been there a few years now, and obviously each year there's been changes. There's been more changes in the last couple of years, especially obviously since the Euros and that. It's almost overwhelming the amount of stuff that these guys are doing, the whole team. Like, there was none of this when I was playing football. There was no recognition. Couldn't play football. You weren't allowed to play. You couldn't even be seen with the boys to be even playing a sport, let alone just football. So to see how it is progressed and is still progressing makes me very proud as a woman, as a female footballer, as a mum to a new generation of a potential footballer as well, my daughter and my son and things like that. So it's really nice to see we're actually finally being backed up for something that should never really been pushed in the first place in a way. I've been playing a long time now, and it's so like these, especially this season more than anything, that when we play our games, yeah, we have family and friends that come and support us, but now we're being recognised, whether it's a post, whether it's a photo, whether it's friends and family of my own, word gets around, and we're seeing more and more people now turn up to games and ask when the next game is and ask how you're doing in the table, and recognise that the rivalry between certain teams in the league is there as well. And it's banter, it's all good, but that rivalry between a men's game or a women's game is just as a rival as it is anything. So to see, like I say, this her game too now even more, it's a great thing to be seen and be recognised, and these girls are going to do well and they're going to push it forward, and I know they'll do a smashing job.
Obviously, for those that know me, I was the former head of media at Chesterfield Ladies, who play in the same division as Mansfield, and I do apologise.
We love Chesterfield, really.
I forgot he got his own mic. But you compare this season to last season. Last season, when Chesterfield played at yours, it was at the RH Academy. We got 150, 200 people. It was wet. It was cold. It was pretty
typical
grit.
Mansfield day out.
Yeah,
really,
it was, to
it?
be fair.
Yeah.
And the RH is fantastic, but it's not the most hospitable place, purely down to it's just so cold up there.
It is a very breezy facility.
It is. And you compare it to this season, and last week you got nearly 800 people up at the One Call Stadium to watch a fantastic 2-2 draw, and it was a real advert.
It was the most fans we've had. It was fantastic to see. It was, the kids that were there, the grown-ups that were there that were supporting us. Everyone shouted and everyone shouting my name. I was like trying to zone out and get focused, ready for the game. But that's what we want. That's what I want to see. It's the future generations of girls coming forward that look up to us and to Chesterfield as well. To anyone with it, that I want to be like that. I want to play on a stadium like this, because whenever we get the chance to play at the One Call, for me, is an honour. I love that pitch. It gives me such an adrenaline rush to play on that pitch. And for those who are lucky enough to play on it, I'll treasure it forever. So it's not often that I do get to play on a pitch of that size. We get to play on, the fields and what have you in the league and what have you. And yeah, to play at the One Call alone is massive for me. Everyone will laugh at me. Oh, it's just another stand. It's just another club. No, it's not. It means we're being recognised. We're actually having an opportunity. It might not be as many times as I'd like in a league or in a season, but I'm grateful that we get the opportunity, because not many teams get to have their main club do that for them.
Yeah, and obviously it is very much baby steps forward. What is the next step forward for you guys? Because obviously we've got a few different examples. So, for example, on the shorts, we've got the SSA sponsor on the back of there. On the home kits, we've got Mansfield Money, quick shout out to all you guys. Buckley Brown on the home shirt, and then Sauce and Brown on the front and back of the away shirt. Is it also sort of like a bit of an issue that the fact that you've got different sponsors, and it's not nothing against those businesses, but you've got trying to make these steps forward, but if you've then got to go and find out your own sponsors to provide your kit, to be able to pay for pitches, for equipment, this, that, and the other, is it sort of like a bit not shallow in the fact that you get to play it somewhere like the One Call Stadium, but the fact that you're having to provide your own kit, this, that, and the other, it's more than just a Mansfield issue. This is seen right across football, women's football in general. So from a player, what is it like on the inside, knowing sort of like how all these things work and sort of like where needs to we be improved,
I mean,
really?
I don't know the full ins and outs of obviously getting the sponsors and stuff. Obviously, as a player, we try and find our own player sponsors, and you know, sometimes it is hard to get because some people don't want to be associated with a woman footballer, if that's the reason, or you know, times are hard at the minute. They don't have the funding to pay out, and that's, you know, that's fine. We're going through really tough times at the minute, but like obviously these sponsors are very close to us, and have stuck by us for these last couple of seasons, 3 seasons, and I know they want to continue helping us, and we just want to obviously, we just need to find a better way, a better system to do it better. I know that obviously there's people within the club that are trying to push to get someone of that level of a sponsor, of someone to be seen, you know, like Sauce and Brown, for example, you know, he's a very close friend of my own and to the club and to the team. And, you know, he's worked himself up to get his company known, and, you know, it just needs to keep pushing. And with the right people and the right guidance, we can find decent sponsors. But like these guys have helped us loads. It is hard from experience to get kits ready, to get the full 8s to ladies first teams kits ready before season starts. You know, unfortunately, we don't always get them on time, so it's not great. You know, half of the team don't get half of their kits on time. It's not great. So we roll with it. You know, it'll come. It might be a nice Christmas present for us. We're halfway through the season, but you know, we get it. But you know, any sponsors now, hopefully, we'll see how well women's football, girls' football is doing, and we'll go, I want to help there, even if it's just water bottles, little things, cones. The smallest things go a massive way, and I know that any team, no matter what age, will appreciate it in terms of sponsors. So thank you to our sponsors, by the way. Much appreciated.
And so it's like, from your guys' perspective, hearing about that and the difficulties, sort of like not having, is it having all the equipment or whatever, and having to wash your own kit, I presume, as well?
Yes, I am the kit washer as well.
How difficult is it when sort of like you guys as Her Game 2 are pushing for equality and to be heard as a female football fan, if we've then got these fundamental issues at a playing level for the players themselves, having to wash their own kit, or one person in a whole club having to wash everybody's kit? Is it more than just sort of like Her Game 2 is a fan thing, but it's for the player as well? It's just a bit of everything, really.
Yeah, Her Game 2 is for everything, all aspects of it. And I think there can be misconceptions about that it's either only women's football, or it's only female fans, or it's only people that work in the club. It's not, it's all of that. It's celebrating everything and working hard to make sure that equality is there. And like you were saying earlier, you know, you were having your name called and things like that and playing at the One Call. You deserve that. You should have that. And that's the thing. It should just happen. And it isn't. And it is frustrating. It isn't just a Mansfield thing. It is happening at all levels, all over. And it isn't very nice to see. And it's something that we're really passionate about changing and working with you on.
I know what I say. I get embarrassed about, you know, my name being shouted and all these young girls chanting. Even grown men that I know say they were going to be chanting at the game as well. Like, great, you go for it. But deep down, it does make me think, I've worked for this.
You have.
So as embarrassed as
Absolutely.
I might feel sometimes when I've got my little cheerleaders on the side, I've worked to get this far, and so I am. I'm happy for it, but it's a little bit embarrassing sometimes.
But the thing is, as well, there's so many young girls out there that are playing football and wanting to get involved in it, and they need role models like you. They need to have access to role models like you, and seeing that and being involved and growing up and saying, this is what I want to be. And I was talking to a couple of weeks ago at one of the home games. We were giving out some of our Her Game 2 badges, which we've got on Saturday as well, that we'd had made. And I was giving it to a young girl called Rebecca who plays in goal.
I know Rebecca.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
And we were having a good conversation, and she just, she said, I hope I can play for Mansfield one day. And, I'd love to play out there and play for Mansfield. And that, I'm getting goosebumps. Like, that's part of the reason that we do it as well. We look at these young kids and think, I want those to have those experiences growing up. So it's not as hard. They don't face the same things that you have. And it's all sorted, and they can go on to play at the One Call Stadium, and they'll have the kit, and they'll have the sponsors, and all of that is there. And Her Game 2 work a lot at grassroots level. So any merchandise and things that are purchased, a proportion of that goes towards grassroots, and it all goes back into buying things like cones, water bottles, all of those things, kits for like grassroots teams, to give them those opportunities as well. And we do a lot of fundraising for that, and hopefully we can do some work with the club for you guys as well, because we're really passionate about it and we want you to have it because you deserve it.
Yeah, so it's a little bit frustrating to hear that obviously you have to do those things, but it's sort of what we're here for, to help push that and to help push quality. And you were saying about all those little girls having that, and that's something that I wish I had when I was younger. Even at school, I can remember in secondary school, the boys and girls being separated. Boys, you can do football and rugby. Girls, you can do hockey or netball, which I've not got anything against hockey or netball, but I always wanted to play football, but I just never got the choice. And that's something that we're here for, is to push that, and to push, obviously, allowing girls to play football if they want to watch football if they want to work at a football club if they want to.
That's another thing as well. Sorry, like, even different schools in different areas have different things. So when I was at school, I was allowed to play football. And, we had a girls' football team, but you didn't, and other girls didn't. And it's that kind of disparity as well, that, how can one school in the area have it, but another school not have that?
I mean, it wasn't all the way through school, and, I'm not slating my school in any way, but it was sort of there, like, in the background, where there was certain choices in PE lessons. And I mean, you couldn't play football with the boys or things like that, and it's just something that we're here for to change, isn't it, really?
And Keely, obviously, it's such a misconception that football is a man's game. It's not anymore. And you go to games, and especially as Mansfield fans, you do see more and more female fans and young girls, especially as a driving factor of Mansfield Town ladies being more involved in the club, and there are more people coming to games than they were pre-COVID. We're getting near enough home sellouts nearly every game now, which is fantastic. But have you ever had had situations where you've felt uncomfortable at games, whether that's through facing sexist comments or just in general, just being uncomfortable with somebody's being a bit rowdy or abusive or making sexist remarks, but not in a directed at a person, just in general, just making you feel uncomfortable?
For me personally, I've never, touch wood, experienced that. And I've been a Mansfield supporter for over 30 years now. I was like 5 when I first started. And obviously seeing the amount of women getting involved into football, not just obviously at Mansfield, but obviously throughout the clubs, it has changed a lot since I was younger, and it's lovely to see. And like I say, I've not personally had anything against me, but I have sort of seen on social media, comments, not just about fans, but about like TV presenters that are going on to do shows, and that they shouldn't be doing it because of being a woman. And I think the obviously the Ladies World Cup has massively put a good stigma on ladies football, and hopefully these guys can get what they deserve and what they should be getting. Really, it should be an equal opportunity for everyone.
Has anybody ever faced any sort of like sexism or comments, really? Sort of like
Have the
whether that's
comments at
in
school when
person
you were
or-
growing up.
Yeah,
You should play, you're a girl, and now they're saying, "Oh, you're still playing football?" Like, yeah, are you? No. So we you see the comments, and the Euros is a great example. I'm a bugger for reading comments. I try not to bite my tongue, and it just annoys me and it grates me, and
Yeah,
I really try
100%.
not to bite. And it's like, who are you to say that?
Yeah.
Bet you've never kicked a ball in your life.
Yeah.
Bet you've never ran for 90 minutes.
Mhm.
Do you know what I mean? And it's really hard to. Look, they're gonna have opinions. Everybody has an opinion, and that's fine. But sometimes certain comments really don't need to say it.
Yeah.
It's not funny. It's not cool,
It's not
and it
banter.
can really hurt
Yeah.
someone. It really can.
Yeah.
And if we're reading it as adults, and the day and age that kids are in social media now, and a 9-year-old, 8-year-old will read that, their dreams can just be snatched away from her because of
Massively.
one comment.
Yeah, 100%.
I think for me as well, I've even had things like, so since starting Her Game 2, I set up the female only Facebook group. And I did that for a purpose of making sure that there was another alternative for fans that may want just to speak to other women or feel a bit more comfortable about, I don't know, maybe wanting to meet up and not really wanting to share where they were going or things like that, make friends, make connections. That doesn't mean they can't go into any other group or anything like that, but it was a space for connection, and also for me sharing in the local area for women out there that might want to go to a local game but not have a clue who goes and where to start, and they could join and make friends and say, I'm going to this game, can I come with you? Or buddy system for going to away games and things like that, if and it's all about getting more fans going to the games as well. But the comments on that were like, isn't this sexist? What about a men's group? What about this? Why can't you have that? And I'm like, okay, so let's talk about the Men's Heads mental health walk for men that is on every other Sunday, which I promote actively all the time, because honestly, it is a truly amazing thing. I think it is a fantastic initiative, and I think it's something that should really be publicised and put out there. That's not sexist. Neither is a female Facebook group. And this is the thing. It's about making sure that there's alternatives for people. Absolutely, a lot of men feel more comfortable talking to men about mental health. So do women. And women might want to talk to other women about football. That's okay. None of that is sexist. But comments on that were awful. And it's just, why?
Yeah, and obviously it is difficult. For example, there was a couple of comments that Monica made me aware of. So it's like in the build-up to the Mansfield-Chesterfield game, and it's just like, yes, there's a rivalry, but it wasn't even about the rivalry. It wasn't Mansfield-Chesterfield or the history behind it or whatever. It was women's football. That's naff. In a roundabout way. Without.
Why?
Yeah.
It had nothing to do with you. Oh, so you coming to the game then or not? No. Are you gonna even just like the post and share it? No, you're just here to have your 2 pence and potentially rattle me up. But that's the sad thing about it at the minute. And it's quite intriguing though, because the more since the Euros, I keep using the Euros, but for me that was a massive milestone where things have changed. Simple as, like, since the games have been going out in the WSL. Comments now are not as bad, I don't think, personally. I will read the comments, and I love reading. Even men, I will give them the due. They will comment and give us praise, give that team praise. There'll be score lines of 6, 7, 8, 9, 10-0, and men will be like, that's not a game. Well, I'm sorry to any Man United fans the other night, but it's an example, and I made a point about it, and I upset a couple of people, but it is an example. You've got overpaid Premiership players who everybody goes and, all their sponsors and millions and thousands of pounds, and they kick a ball. They do exactly the same as us. And what's the difference?
I'll say if
they
they
didn't get much slated as we did, or when we've had bad results or whatever. So it shouldn't be a difference. It's just a scoreline. You just was unlucky that night. That's all.
Obviously, it is International Women's Day, and if you look on Twitter, Facebook, any sort of social media at the moment, and there is a lot of positivity, mainly spanning from her game too, and a lot of the partner clubs. Just things that I've seen today. Derby County have got a new trust thing linked up there. Their men's side are going to take on board the women's side and provide opportunities there. Stoke, they're also looking at they're going part-time, they're going semi-professional as well, and there's numerous other things. How positive is it the fact that steps are being made for sort of like the general growth about sort of like women's football, but not even just women's football, just women in football, and just being able to take part in it?
Yeah, it's amazing to see. I don't know if you saw today as well, Everton announced the first Premier League player advocates for her game too. And it's one from the men's team, one from the ladies team. And again, that has a huge impact because for me, you guys are role models to people growing up. And I think, that's a really positive thing to have you guys on board with that. And it's really good to see that sort of progression and the positive comments today and things that clubs are taking on board.
Yeah, 100%. And just before I came out, actually, the news was on, and it was Beth Mead and Ellen White, and they were promoting obviously funding for girls in football, and Rishi Sunak was their Prime Minister, who obviously it's a massive thing because then it shows that the government are on board. These things may change, but due to that funding and that involvement within all parties. And same as Monica said, it's the Euros that have probably was winning it that has had that impact, and yeah.
I mean, it's great to see obviously these big clubs supporting women, the women's football, her game. I just hope it's for the right reasons. That's all I'm worried about. Like, it's all right using your big teams to put these posts out and all this merch and things like that, but if they're not doing it for the right reasons and it's just to put money in their pockets, then that's not what these guys are doing it for. And I really hope it is for the right reasons, and it's not just to get some more followers, some more people to go in there to go and watch their games. I know it's going to be a hard road because we've tried so long to be seen, to be heard, not just in football, but we're not here to trample on any men's opinion or any man. It really isn't that. We want to all to come together. I've got many male friends who have supported me through my football career and just supported me in general, and that probably wouldn't be where I am today without them. So nothing against males, it's just pointing it in the right direction, that's all.
Yeah, and just touching on that, obviously we have had a lot of males that are actually supporting us, and that absolutely think it's it's a brilliant idea. I mean, I go to away games with mainly males, and they do support what her game too is all about. So yeah, touching on that, it is what Monica said.
Some of these men have daughters that play football now as well.
Yeah, and that's it. And I think that is why a lot of them are on board with it.
Yeah, I'm the same as well. I've been going to football since I was 4 with my dad and his 6 or 7 friends, and they're so supportive and everything, and it's obviously you go with your dad as well, don't you? And we all have banter like together, and they support us, and it's amazing to see.
Obviously, before we sort of like touch on the her game 2 stuff coming up, the home game against Leyton Orient this weekend, just want to cast your mind back to the Wimbledon game at the weekend. It won't be a Mansfield Matters podcast unless we actually talked about what matters, and that's Mansfield. And it's a 3-1 win. Did anybody actually
37 minutes to get the brand tagline in. 37 minutes.
Ish.
Shocking.
Are we a bit too chatty?
Oh, no, it's
I
good.
blame
It's all
Cam.
good.
He didn't even get it in the first link. I'm just, just like to wind him up
Moving
a
on.
little bit. Carry on, Cameron.
Well, no, it's a 3-1 win. Did anybody actually go? Because I didn't.
Yeah, me and Keely went.
Me
didn't
and Kira, yeah.
What's your thoughts on it? So obviously,
Hang on a minute. The host didn't go. The host of the show didn't go to the game.
I had work.
The host of the show didn't go to the game.
Oh, he's
The
here he
host of
comes.
the host of the
dear.
show. Host of the shit.
Oh dear.
Come on.
You're out.
Substitution
Oh,
at half time. Love you. Did anyone go?
Yep.
Yeah, we went, didn't we, Keely?
It was your birthday weekend. You had a nice spa as well, didn't you? Oh, there you go. So of course, AFC Wimbledon, Mansfield being Mansfield, the week before we do what we do against Salford, and we're thinking. Anyone else thinking when we go a goal down, here we
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
100%.
sort of was like,
Too early.
I've
Still got
travelled
another 90 minutes to go yet. Every
travelled
time.
all the way down
go.
here,
You can tell on this panel already, can't you? Who's the footballer and who are the fans?
That was a very cold day that day as well. Very cold.
Yeah, 100%. You know, when we went 1-0 down, it was just like, Wimbledon. I looked at my dad and I thought, oh no, here we go again. You know, because it's obviously a sort of repeat from the previous week. But, you know, we pulled it back and it was a great game, to be honest. It was a great atmosphere.
It was.
And even
it was
though
an
when we
amazing
were 1-0
atmosphere.
down, I do agree, Keely, like, the atmosphere was just booming still, even though we were 1-0 down, which is amazing to see.
Did you find that a surprise, considering the way we were against Salford? Because I think a lot of people left early. It's the first time I've left early for a long time at a game. There was a lot of disappointment, a lot of
That's really
Yeah.
bad, you
negativity
know,
that
to
was
leave
going
a game early.
I know. I
It
should
is.
never
It's
leave
not
a
on,
I
game
is
blame
early.
it?
somebody else who
No
clearly
matter
wanted to get
what.
McDonald's and beat the traffic.
I think
but
you should swap back over, Cam, after that
I know,
remark.
nothing to do with it.
That many people left. It was better to stay
Exactly.
behind for
Well,
the traffic.
That's a good
Got
point.
out of the car park quicker.
I was
though,
going
I'll
to say,
give
got out
that.
loads
To be
quicker.
fair, that's exactly why I did, you know.
Only pro to it.
Exactly. But considering that, the way we were against Salford, the negativity which was starting to fly around a little bit, does that surprise you that the atmosphere was how it was? Because I think, if that was at home and we'd have gone 1-0 down, I think we might have been sitting here talking about a different result.
Definitely. I honestly didn't think that 905 people had travelled all the way down to Wimbledon, to be fair. I thought, we're probably going to take 600.
Yeah.
But yeah, to get that support, and like Kira says, they were just non-stop singing.
Yeah.
Something I like
chanting.
about away days for our lot.
Away,
Yeah.
yeah.
They're a
100%.
different
I was
breed
just
when they
gonna
go
say
away.
that.
It's
Away
just because
games.
like sometimes like when we're at home games, there's not as much noise. I'm dying to chant away, and
yeah, no,
you know,
it's
but because obviously I'm in A block with quiet lot, and near family end, I'm like, come on, guys,
yeah, we
get
even
chanting, come on. Obviously, but yeah, the away games, obviously I can't make many away games. It's kids play. It's very. I mean, last weekend was my rarest. I get a weekend off football. We had no game. The kids had been done by 1 o'clock, so I went home and watched it on my sofa and just chilled out. But the fans, the men, they really do go for it on away day, and that's what. Speaking of experience, if you've got the fans behind you, it does give you a bit of a kick up the backside. So, just for me, anyway.
100%. Away days are just a completely different kettle of fish, in my opinion. Because obviously, I don't know about away days as well. Everyone's sort of together, like sort of at home games. I'm sat there, my dad's sat obviously next to me, like some of his friends over there, all that. But at away days, you're all together, so it's sort of like you can all get together and create that atmosphere.
That's what it is, and then of course, we do manage to get that comeback, and we can't not talk about it as fans, can we? The infamous time of shoelaces moment.
That was perfect.
Best
That is-
celebration ever.
I wanted to shake his hand.
Yeah,
It was
me
great.
too.
It was perfect.
Absolutely loved it.
It must be so tough for Danny at the minute, and we've spoke about this too much, so we'll talk about the goal mainly, but you get the opportunity. We finally actually play the way which Danny Johnson suits, which is through the middle, ball on the floor, playing off the last defender, opening up the gaps, and he creates chances, and he will get chances through that. But that must have been such a. Do you think as he saw the ball in the back of the net, he was thinking, right, I've got to do it?
Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
I felt like that ball took so long to go in the back of the
So
net.
long.
It's going in.
What's happening?
The Danny
It was
Johnson
so long,
situation, didn't it?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
now,
Trickled
after
over.
everything he's been through, and obviously the comments he's had and things like that, he thoroughly deserved that, and that was the perfect way to celebrate. Perfect.
100%.
100%.
Definitely.
Yeah. I think when he actually did that celebration, I was too busy trying not to get knocked over. So it was sort of something I had to watch a bit later on. But yeah, just amazing. Just really well thought of, and yeah.
I was in stitches. I thought it was one of the funniest things that I've seen in a very long time, to be fair. And obviously now we've got the situation where he may well, out of nowhere, get more opportunities now that Will Swan is injured for the rest of the season. So who knows? It could be the confidence booster that he needs. But
Definitely.
It'd be interesting to see how it plays out.
Yeah. Who knows? It could be. Yeah. It's interesting to obviously, and that's what football's all about, interesting to see how things turn out. And yeah,
just need to keep together and keep pushing.
100%.
There's still, still in reach of the run, but if they just need to stick together, that's all it is. So,
and the fans as well.
Yeah,
it's a whole.
We all have bad
thing.
days and good days at football. We know that, and we read the comments and slating each other, and that's football. But when it comes to game day, stick together. Can do this,
We all want the same thing.
Yeah,
The players
yeah,
don't want to lose.
No,
they're not out there to lose.
No, not at all.
We all want the same
It's
thing.
just finding that passion and desire. Like, say it all the time, I ain't getting any younger. So when I am playing, I will play 110% as best as I can. And if I know I've put a good run in, I'm happy. Obviously a win is great, but if we lose, we lose. But as long as I know I've put the graft in, and that's all we ever ask as fans. We pay this money, we sit in that cold. We don't get no mushy peas because it runs out. We just want the passion and desire. You put that into the game. If you lose, doesn't matter. You tried, but sometimes it is frustrating when you just like, come on. I mean, you can get the ball. Do you mean? So, but no, overall, it was obviously a good result for us also.
Last one from me before I let Cam come back.
No.
I mean, I'm thinking about it. I've just got visions of the comments now. It's hashtag Craig is a bully. Hashtag Craig out. This is all
hashtag get Cam back in.
7,000 accounts, which he's got, by the way. But there you go. How pivotal, though, is that result, that win on Saturday? So we had the stumble, we sort of fell out. And had we lost against AFC Wimbledon, the gap would have got a little bit bigger. People might have started to think, oh my God, where's the next win going to come from? Especially when you look at the next few fixtures. So for the group and for our mentality as supporters, how key do you think getting those 3 points were?
I believe it were massive. I think if we had lost it, like you say, we're only 5 points behind third. So I keep thinking that if we can keep that hope and get behind the lads, and we can do it. I know Saturday's going to be tough, but
well, if we played like we did when we played them at their place, we should have.
Exactly.
If it wasn't for the heat that day, we'd have definitely won. Whoever scored first that day was going to win.
I think it's whoever turns up, obviously, on day, and like Monica's just said, if they're going out there and giving 110%, then we're going to do it. If they're not, then that's a different story.
Yeah, let's certainly hope that they can get back to continue winning ways on Saturday afternoon as we welcome Leyton Orient, obviously the her game 2 fixture, and that's probably where I should let
exciting
Cam.
times.
I'm quite comfy though now. I just think
Yeah, it's not like we're at home. I can't just boot him out.
That's true, because you turn the entire stream off, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
I think whilst I'm here though, I'll touch upon one thing. And that's, of course, obviously listening to what you guys have been talking about tonight. Really insightful stuff. It's discussions which need to continue happening. And from my perspective, obviously, I've been broadcaster for years in and out and seen sexism is still rife in the game, especially for broadcasters. It's interesting when you were talking earlier about the amount of females that get the opportunity. And I think we as a podcast have perhaps been a little bit guilty over the last 6 years or so of not having female representatives. And it's great to have you guys along with us tonight. You've shared your opinions when we've just been talking about the game there. It's absolutely no different to looking at Alan or Clive or Nathan or Nick. I think I've not missed anyone out there, have I? No? Yeah. And it's really... Love you!
He's actually going. He's on.
Finally achieved what I set out to achieve. And it's so important for you guys to have a voice, but as a podcast, we've been a little bit guilty of that. But there are certain perhaps things which come into that. When we first started, our first 7 episodes were done where, Cam? Can you remember?
Yeah, your back bedroom.
No, the first 7
Oh,
episodes.
yes. Titchfield Park, Carbank Park, in the rain.
We thought it'd be a great idea to meet up in coffee shops, meet and sit around and have a coffee, because none of us drank. So the alcohol thing was irrelevant. It basically became our pub. And we realised after a while, we didn't broadcast any of them live, that it became a bit of a nightmare because parks were getting colder when we could do it. Light was getting dark. And we just thought, right, well, let's just do it at a house. But the problem with that is we all got to know each other quite well. But to bring a female voice into that and saying, do you want to come round to my back bedroom and do a podcast with 4 other blokes? That's block, delete. Do you know what I mean? It's so harsh. But now that we've changed our technology and the way we do things, having more female voices on is something we definitely want to do, which is why we were so eager to work with you guys. Obviously, Emma, you've been on before, and people keep asking about when you're going to come back on, so we'll get you to come back on more. I'm sure they will with you guys as well once tonight's has gone out. And I think it's just a really important thing to say, but especially in the broadcasting world. I saw it last season when I was doing commentary. There was a female journalist who approached a manager after the game asking for a comment, and he told her, for want of a better phrase, to F off, to Jeff off, straight into her face. I don't want to talk to someone who I don't think has an opinion on football, which is so wrong and so discouraging.
Wow.
I've had it before as well, where I've had someone with me who's been like helping me out doing notes and stuff. We used to travel to games together and everything. And a club physio said something to her once of, you've got no place in this environment. And it's mind-blowing to see that those opinions are still there. But I'm so glad that this movement is, going on and starting to rectify that. And, like you said earlier, we've all been going to games for God knows how many years. Some people have had that thing of, what are you doing here, more than others. Others maybe not have had that, but it's so crazy. It's just a place for everyone to be together. So I'm hoping
100%.
that on the back of this tonight, more female fans feel like they can reach out to you guys and to connect with you. So where can they do that if they want to do that?
Yeah, so if you want to speak to us directly, we've got our own Instagram, which I think is it Mansfield Her Game 2. And then there's mine, which is _ Her Game 2 Mansfield. On Twitter, DMs and everything is always open if anyone wants to talk. We've got the Her Game 2 Facebook group for any women as well that want to join that and come and have a chat to us. We'll be around the ground and things like that, so hopefully you see our faces and can start to figure out who we are. And yeah, absolutely, come and talk to us, get involved. If you've got anything that you need to report, please let us know. Because we work with the club to make sure that anything is reported and dealt with appropriately. And we also record that with Her Game 2 as well, because we do report back to the EFL on, reports and things like that we've had. So, please get in touch.
Yeah, absolutely do that. Right, before we let him back in, we've got one question to ask him. Kicked you out because you weren't there last Saturday. Are you coming this weekend?
Ish. Yeah, no, I'll be.
All right, then.
I'll be there.
I hope you're coming this
Thank you.
weekend.
I shall hand back over to Cam Felton, everybody.
Wait, let's go.
Welcome back, Cam.
Keep going.
Hey, the comments proper popped off then, didn't they? Clive's been in touch. Good to see a better host. Nathan's back. Nice to look at Craig's face and not Cam's. Nick's been in touch.
Anybody else smell that?
The burgers downstairs
That's
smell lovely.
Food from the downstairs kitchens, which you can get here at Capo Lounge, which is in the centre of Mansfield, because they're supporting us tonight by doing this podcast. Give them a plug.
Thank you, Capo Lounge. It's fantastic. And we really do appreciate it. And hopefully we can bring more of this sort of stuff to you. So obviously it's 10 years since we won promotion back to the Football League. We've got ideas. We've got plans. We've got way more things that we can get you guys involved with. There's so much to be part of. And obviously coming up this weekend it is Leyton Orient at home, but it is also the Her Game 2 dedicated fixture. Firstly, what are dedicated fixtures and what's it about and what specifically is actually happening on Saturday at the One Call Stadium?
Yeah, so dedicated fixtures is the club's way of kind of helping get the message out there, showcasing the things that we're doing, getting more women involved, and really kind of getting that message out there. Got quite a few bits planned. You'll see the squad warming up in Her Game 2 t-shirts, which again is lovely to see. We've got a photo board, so we'll be going around the ground taking pictures with everybody. You know, please come and find us, have some pictures. We've got badges to give out. Yeah, we've got stickers as well. We have got Monica. You're going to be around and doing a couple of interviews and things.
Yes, I've been summoned to do interviews.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Favourite thing.
Yay!
We've got a
yeah,
couple.
we've got me doing interviews, and then obviously we've got 2 of our squad members as well, helping out in the family stand as well. So yeah, nice to obviously be seen as well. So yeah, looking forward to it.
Yeah, I think they've got they're going to print out some Her Game 2 logos and things like that for the kids to kind of colour in and draw in the family room and get some pictures with the girls. We're going to be walking out onto the pitch, leading the players out. So we've got 3 of the junior team that are going to walk out holding the flag, and then us 3 are going to kind of follow behind and have some pictures out there. Have I missed anything? Possibly.
I think that's everything, but yeah, we've got lots planned. It's going to be an exciting day.
Yeah.
Flag bearers as well.
Oh yeah, all girl flag bearers.
Yeah.
All the ball
Ball
kids are all
girls.
going to be girls. Yeah.
They're all looking forward to that.
Are
as well.
they?
They love
I'm
doing
so
things like
pleased.
that. They,
Rather than the mates.
you know, even just doing
gold.
like
Yeah.
ball girls, you know, it might be cold for them, but they like to be involved with the ground, with the team. Where you know they play
Yeah.
for this
Yeah.
ground, so they want to be involved with it.
Definitely.
You know, even just walking out with the flag, like my Rubish, my daughter's one of them, and she's absolutely buzzing. It's a birthday on the same day, so she's, you know,
wow.
always helps. But
Perfect.
yeah, so hopefully she can get a few photos with some of the players and that, and just little things like that will help so much. Going back to our game against Chesterfield, walking out with us, flag bearing with us, ball girls with us, they loved it. And you know, it's just one little thing they can take in and experience, and hopefully do again as the seasons go on. So yeah.
Same as you say, it's something so little, but it goes a long way.
Oh, it means a massive amount.
The little
They'll
things
go
mean a
home
lot.
smiling
Yeah.
Yeah.
with a photo. You know, what one girl was having a ticket to our game with autographs on.
Aw.
She'll keep that on a bedside table or even frame it. You know, something silly like that that might seem silly to us will be a massive thing to
It's
her.
like their role model, isn't it? Like
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
just obviously the people that are involved, but the club as well. The club as a whole, and getting them involved in events
Yeah.
and things like that.
There's also going to be a lot more kind of signage out and leaflets and things on the scoreboard about the reporting system. So we're really keen as a club that it's not kind of split up. So it's not if you are getting sexist abuse, you need to report to this, or if you're getting homophobic or racist abuse, you've got to go to these different people. We've got one number that's going to be shared for everything, any type of abuse at the game, that's anonymous and kind of a reporting system. So that's going to be kind of put out everywhere for people to see and know what to do with everyone's like individual logos on and things like that. So it's really kind of going down this inclusivity, equality route, and it's not just the individual.
No, yeah.
So that's positive.
Oh, fantastic. And obviously, if there's anybody down at the One Call Stadium on Saturday, touch wood, game's on, that you come and see these guys and check out what's on in the family room in the back of the Quarry Lane end. If you're in hospitality and see Monica or any of the ladies players, say hi, get a photo, get an autograph. They love it. They love the attention. Obviously, the most important thing on Saturday is 3 points. So, what's your predictions? We're going to start with you, Emma. Give us your predictions. Mansfield Town versus Leyton Orient.
Right.
It's a tough one.
So I feel like I've got to be positive.
I mean, you don't. We've got the most pessimistic person ever behind the camera.
No, so
3 facts.
I can't lie. When they confirmed that the dedicated fixture was going to be against Leyton Orient, I was like, really, that one, the league leaders. But I'm going to go confident, and I'm going to say we're going to win, and I'm going to say it's going to be 2-1.
And
Goal time.
golden goal time. First goal scorer.
First goal scorer.
No, first goal time. Sorry.
Oh,
Yeah.
first goal time. 8 minutes. I didn't say for us.
Yeah.
Just to clarify.
The easy way, the hard way, and the Mansfield Town way, it seems then.
Yeah, 100%.
Kira, we'll go with you next.
See, I don't know. I'm feeling the same as Emma. I feel like I've got to be positive, but I don't know. I'm going to say 3-2 to us. I think after last Saturday, I think we'll properly put our feet into it, and I think we'll bring effort to it, and bring that extra oomph, if you like. So I think they'll give us a good run, but I think we might push it back. And golden goal, 16. I'm going to go. My lucky number, but also I think not too early, not too late. It's just probably when people are finding their feet.
Keely, we'll go with you next.
I'm going to go with a 2-0 victory to us.
2-0 win.
And I think it's going to be 26 minutes.
Monica, what's your prediction?
3-1 win.
Straight in.
I'm going to go 32.
32.
Danny Johnson's going to score more.
Yeah.
Whilst you're writing those down, Cam, I'll do ours from the group chat if you want. So we've not got Nick's yet. Obviously, we've not got mine and Cam's yet. But Clive went with a 2-1 Stags win, 38 minutes. You don't need to write these ones down; they're in the group chat. Well, you can if you want to carry on. Then, if you feel like you're making yourself useful, you carry on. It's nice to see you actually doing something good for once.
I wish
You
that
normally
camera
like
wasn't on.
this? Are you
Yeah.
normally
Ooh.
like this?
Oh yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah, constantly. Our
He's-
group chat's horrific.
But the thing is, he knows I'm only joking.
He loves it, don't
He
he?
knows he loves it. So there you go. Alan has gone for a 2-0 Stags win, 28 minutes. Nathan's gone a little bit pessimistic and gone for a 1-1 draw, 11 minutes. I think Oliver might have just got his phone and just pressed the 1 key, to be honest. But yeah, so 1-1 draw, 11 minutes. We'll get Nick's later in the week. I will go with league leaders, but considering Saturday and how we bounce back, we do struggle a little bit at home, so it's going to be a little bit narrow. I'm going to say we will sneak a 1-0 win, and it'll be the 88th minute. I'm going to go for late drama, and we get no points for this in the podcast
Don't do
prediction
that.
league. But it's going to be Danny Johnson again, and he's going to pull some laces out of his shorts and start throwing them into the crowd. Cam?
I'm very shocked. I thought he was going to go with a loss, to be honest.
I'm lucky.
I think same again. I think it's going to be a tight one, but I think we'll sneak it. It'll be a 2-1 win, and I'm going to go for the 23rd minute. So, yeah, I'm not overly confident, but you never know. Obviously, if you want to get involved in podcast predictions, the link's in our socials somewhere down below. And rule is, what is it, hour and 1 minute? To be fair,
Where are you going, Craig?
to be fair, we usually have to put in the group chat not long before kickoff for somebody somewhere to put their prediction in. Usually it's Nathan.
Yeah, usually it's Nathan. To be
Yeah,
fair,
it's usually Nathan that forgets. So
Actually, I think Emma, you've been on the podcast this series more than Nathan has. So
Fine.
he's spots
really
up for
happy with
grabs,
that.
You're
to be
in.
honest. Yeah, you're in.
Brilliant.
I'll take his spot.
Next Tuesday, we're on. All right. That's all we've got time for. Thank you for coming on. It's been fantastic to hear about her game 2 and what it's about. And just a very quick reminder, sort of like what's going on at the One Call Stadium on Saturday.
Yeah, we'll be around, photo board, badges to give out, walking out with the team with the juniors, Monica around for some interviews and some of the ladies players in the family room. Lots going on. Come and get involved.
Yeah, thanks for having us. And even if you want to just come and have a chat with us, have a chat about our experience as a fan, and when we started watching Stags, and our opinions and things like that on, and even what we're about. It's just come and have a chat. We're friendly.
Keely, any last words?
Thank you for having us, and again, just come and get involved, support the lads, and hopefully we get that win.
And Monica, most importantly, when is Mansfield Town ladies' next fixture?
It is
Testing you
next
now.
Sunday, 19th March, I think it is. 18th, 19th.
Mother's Day.
Oh, yes,
Mother's
Mother's
Day.
Day. Oh, so I don't even have a day off. Typical. So that is our next fixture. That is the County Cup semi-final, which obviously, if anyone did see, we drew Forest Reserves.
Big game.
Yeah. Love Forest Reserves and Forest in general. So, but no, it'll be, as always, a feisty game. One, obviously, that we plan on winning. I do believe it is 2:00 kickoff at R&H on that Sunday. So the more the merrier. All support welcome. Make sure you bring your hat and your gloves because it's always cold down at R&H. They do lovely sausage rolls and everything in the calf. So, yeah. Thanks for having us.
Mother's Day. I love it.
Craig, any final words before we head off?
Oh, well, I thought I was just going to press the button and be done with that, but there you go. No, just to obviously say from a podcast point of view, thanks so much for coming out tonight. We wanted to do it like this rather than do it virtually because we think the power of getting people in a room together and talking, you laugh. We could be sat here for hours and hours on end doing this podcast and talking. So you're definitely more than welcome back anytime. And of course, make sure you get involved with the stuff on Saturday if you go into the game. And also a big thanks to the Capo Lounge as well tonight, who have literally cleared the entirety of their upstairs space for us to be able to set this up this evening and everything. So if you're in and around town and you fancy a coffee, maybe you fancy a coffee before the game on Saturday, come in here and have a drink. They serve alcohol as well as food and coffees and things like that as well. So come in and get involved, and no doubt we'll see you guys again in a bit. And Cam, do I really need to say those two words? Shall I say the 2 words or not?
I want to know what 2 words is on about.
I know.
It's been emotional.
No, that's
No.
more. I was going to say, well done.
Unfortunately, that's all we've got time for tonight. My thanks to the very special Her Game 2 Mansfield Matters podcast panel, and of course to Cam Felton for keeping it all together. Also, our extended thanks as a podcast to the fantastic Capo Lounge in Mansfield. Make sure if you're in and around town, you get yourself down here, get yourself a coffee, get yourself a beer. It's a great place to relax. It's a great place to hang out. Come down here and just enjoy a bit of time to relax and unwind. These guys have been fantastic for us over the years. We've filmed series here. We've always sort of popped in and had little meetings between ourselves. It really is the place to be in town. So thanks very much to them for their hospitality. As Cam mentioned, no doubt earlier on, make sure you go on social media and follow the Her Game 2 movement. Emma and the team do fantastic stuff for female football fans, so make sure you go and follow and check out everything that they do, especially on Saturday for the Her Game 2 dedicated fixture as the Stags welcome Leyton Orient to One Call Stadium. And of course, speaking of that, don't forget to get involved with podcast predictions. The link that you need is in the description. You must enter no later than 1 hour and 1 minute before kickoff on Saturday afternoon. That's all we've got time for. As I say, thanks very much for watching, for listening, and for sticking by us for, I'm sure, some technical gremlins that have occurred over the past hour or so tonight. This is the show for the fans, by the fans. Her Game 2 always matters, as does watching Mansfield Town. Good night.